veterans who are present today, and most importantly, the members and supporters of the IFP who made this day a success. Today, on a historic day in our country, this day is a human rights day on which the whole country of South Africa is taking stock and the role played by our heroes and heroines in 1960, fighting for the recognition and respect of the human rights of all people of South Africa. This day is also historic as a day on which the IFP was founded. We gather today with hearts full of gratitude, lifting our voices in thanksgiving to the Almighty for 50 years of Inkatha Yesizwe. It is by His grace that we have walked this journey, and it is through His guidance that we stand here today celebrating this milestone. Today we come together not just to reflect, but to recommit ourselves to the values that have defined our organization for half a century. I want to thank Bishop Mandindi for the sermon he rendered this morning. We came here, Sobaba, to give our thanks and gratitude to God. But above that, we came here to seek God's guidance and counseling, which you successfully did in the morning. All the leaders of the IFP who listened to you this morning when you explained the purpose of life, we got renewed. Our understanding of life as service to the people of God was made clear through your sermon, Bishop Mandindi, which you rendered this morning. We came here to sharpen our swords, and you have done that, Bishop Mandindi, to make the IFP, when it embarks on a new journey to the next 50 years, which will be 100 years in 2075. I want to thank everyone who has celebrated the Inkatha Freedom Party this morning, and the religious fraternity who led us this morning in worship and prayer, and for guiding us through this morning's sermon. I also want to thank all messages of support and well wishes as we cross the years milestone and begin the new journey to the 100 years on 21 March 2075. This service holds particular significance, for it takes place at Wanzimela, the very place where 50 years ago Inkatha Yesizwe was founded. It was here that our founding leaders, led by Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, gathered to establish a movement that will champion unity, self-help, self-reliance, and the pursuit of freedom. I remember clearly the words of Umntwana Waphindangene when we gathered in this place 10 years ago for the party's 40th anniversary celebration. Umntwana Waphindangene said, I quote, "I think this morning of the mustard seed of faith that once sown becomes a large tree, and the birds of the air circle in its branches, we sowed a mustard seed of faith at Wanzimela on the 21st of March, 1975, and it has indeed grown into a large tree, close quotation. This word said by Umntwana 10 years ago still remain true. The IFP is growing, and it must be a solution to the challenges facing our country. Wanzimela is not just a location, it is a symbol of our origins, our resilience, and our faith. As we give thanks to God today, we do so in the very place where this journey began, reaffirming our commitment to the ideals upon which Inkatha was built in 1975. And that before we go and celebrate in the stadium, we must come first here and thank God. We gather here today as we mark a milestone of 50 years to seek guidance and counsel from God as we begin the journey to the centenary celebration of 21 March 2027. 50 years ago, on the 21st of March 1975, under the leadership of our late founder, Umntwana kaPhindangene, a movement was born, not just as a political organization, but with a mission to service the people of South Africa. Inkatha Inkululeko Yesizwe was formed in a time of great struggle, where black people of South Africa were oppressed, leaders imprisoned, political parties banned in South Africa. Our people at that time were yearning for freedom, unity, leadership, direction, and restoration of their dignity. It was not an easy road. It took vision, courage, and deep dedication to Umntwana kaPhindangene to forge a path forward amid oppression. Prince Buthelezi, with the wisdom and the council of leaders such as Inkosi Albert Lthuli and Mr. Oliver Tambo, took up the mantle of leadership with a vision rooted in peace, unity, and liberation. He believed in power of democracy, the importance of cultural identity, and the necessity of self-help and self-reliance. The Prince of Waphindangene recognized the gap in the political mobilization in our country against apartheid regime following the banning of the ANC, PAC, and other political leaders. He saw our people hopeless, lacking a center from which to mobilize activism, unity, and cohesive resistance. Shenge was working through a multi-strategy approach, and his own role was to undermine the system from within. Umntwana became a thorn in the flesh of the apartheid government, continually speaking truth to power, quoting Nelson Mandela when it was illegal to do so, calling for his release, for equality, for justice and freedom. During one trip to Zambia, the then President, Mr. Kenneth Kaunda, gave Umntwana kaPhindangene some good advice. he said to him, in order to be cohesive, in order to be a cohesive force, Prince Buthelezi should set up a membership-based organization to reignite unity and mobilization amongst our oppressed majority. The Prince of KwaPhindangene immediately canvassed the views of the Bishop Alpheus Zulu and Mr. Oliver Tambo. Both agreed with President Kaunda's advice. Thus, it was that Inkatha Freedom was born in 1975, as my colleagues have narrated before. That inaugural conference elected His Royal Highness, the Prince of KwaPhindangene, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, as our first president. And our founder took the helm, explaining that Inkatha's goal was not political liberation only, but also its corollaries, which are economic liberation and the freedom one can get from proper education. That is why umntwana KwaPhindangene became a champion of education for liberation, because he believed that education is the weapon that will set especially a black person free, accompanied by economic liberation beyond political liberation. Under his stewardship, Inkatha Freedom became a beacon of hope in the dark days of oppression, advocating for the rights of all South Africans. Today we honor the legacy of our founder, while also remembering the great stalwarts that laid the foundation for Inkatha Freedom we serve and honor today. One such leader whom we honor is Bishop Alpheus Hamilton Zulu. We thank his family for being with us today. Bishop Zulu played an important role in the life of the Prince of KwaPhindangene, as well as in the life of the IFP. We feel honored and encouraged by the presence of the family of Bishop Alpheus Zulu and the message which they rendered in this gathering. Program Director, let us never forget the critical role Inkatha played in the liberation struggle, mobilizing millions to fight against injustice and providing a platform for those who sought peaceful, meaningful change. It stood firm against apartheid's regime's attempt to divide and oppress, refusing to accept the so-called nominal independence